Welcome to Knowsley Road, a pretty dismal, misty Knowsley Road for the second round of this Regal Trophy, where the Saints have been drawn home again, I'm pleased to say, against second division opposition in the form of Dewsbury. Dewsbury first out on the pitch now, and if anything's, well, it should be certain, Saints shouldn't have any problem in disposing of the opposition this afternoon, especially after an emphatic win against Hull KR here at home last week, when the Saints gave Hull KR a 12-point start. But it's Dewsbury out on the pitch, just limbering up. Usually it is the Saints that's first, but I'll go through the Dewsbury team for you now. Number 1, Hughes. 2, Graham. 3, Charles. 4, Moore. 5, Bailey. 6, Wilkinson. 7, Johnson. 8, Burgess. 9, Cox. 10, Carroll. 11, Jennings. 12, Coughlin. 13, Butler, with 14, Blewer, Andy Blewer, the brother of Darren Blewer, ex-Saint and now with Swinton, and 15 is Trembath. Big cheer as the Saints come onto the pitch. They're being led out by today's matchday mascot, who is Martin James Edward Johnson. That's a fair old name, isn't it? 6 years of age, he attends Sir Thomas and St Mary Primary School. A big day for this lad. He's only 6, he's out there doing his limbering up movements there. He's on the 25. He just came out in front of Saints captain Phil Beavers, who's been awarded the captaincy with our unfortunate 8-match ban to Shane Cooper. But there's young Martin James Edward Johnson there. He's coming, look at him stride up to the centre spot there. He's first up there. Referee Kershaw there shaking hands with him. Just a gentle tap on the head. A big day for this lad out there with his favourites, and the Dewsbury mascot there with number 6 on his back. He goes over, shakes his hand. Plenty of camaraderie there at the centre spot. Dewsbury captain there, Willie Johnson. Anyway, the Saints team for today: number 1, Beavers. 2, Tanner. 3, Kay. 4, Loughlin. 5, Hunt. 6, Bailey. 7, Holding. 8, a welcome return to George Mann, and let's hope he's on song as he was before he was drafted up into the New Zealand squad. 9, Paul Groves. 10, Andy Bateman, and welcome back to Andy. Been out for quite a few weeks with a nasty kidney injury. 11, Paul Farber. 12, David Cosgrove. Roy Haggerty in the 13 berth, and let's hope he has a stormer. This is where he likes to play in, and especially at loose forward. I know he doesn't get much chance, but he's there loose forward today. 14, Les Quirk. Welcome back after being injured in the first match of the season at Sheffield, and Jonathan Griffiths, another welcome back after an injury, a nasty groin strain. Griffiths is at 15 due to the lack of forward power. Saints coach Alex Murphy naming 2 backs on the substitutes bench. It's Saints to kick off, playing down to the clubhouse and sponsors box end. Paul Loughlin to start the game, and away we go. Well, a big game for Dewsbury. Once a pretty decent side in the first division, but languishing in the second division now. They wanted a quick play the ball there, but the man fumbled it. There's a scrum down. It's going to be a Saints feed with Neil Holding, and a chance for Saints to get possession from this scrum and hopefully put early points on the board. Neil Holding there, round the base, Bailey and Holding again, long ball to Beavers, in the line. In the Dewsbury 25 now. Neil Holding again. Loose ball, but Mark Bailey tidies it up and takes it over to the left. Jerry Kershaw, not seen much of this man lately. I think he's been out of the top 10 referees, but George Mander takes the ball off Groves. Good running forward, this man, but it's Groves again. Oh, he's playing brilliant, Groves. Always there. Well, it looked a bit of a high tackle, but I thought it must have been the shirt, but referee Kershaw, he manages to come in eventually. Saints are awarded the penalty and the first chance for points on the board. That's a penalty after just over a minute's play. Well, a difficult task today for Dewsbury if they're going to try and do anything here. That Knowsley Road, coached by ex-Great Britain coach Maurice Bamford. Maurice certainly something on his plate, hasn't he? Since being in Great Britain, and he's been at Leeds, up at Workington, taking a few clubs on. But it's Paul Loughlin, leading goal scorer in the Rugby League, with 83. No problem with that, bangs you right between the sticks. Saints in the lead, 2 points to nil, and just 2 minutes gone. So early points there after Dewsbury being penalised for an alleged high tackle on Paul Groves. David Cosgrove, been playing at prop in the last few games, and believe you me, he's been having some storming performances. Cosgrove really coming to his own. Was signed as a hooker, but he's played most of his rugby at prop. Now in the second row this afternoon with the return of Andy Bateman and George Mann. Neil Holding bundled to the ground, Groves at dummy half. Saints move it left, Roy Haggerty looking for the gap. There's the one-handed attempted pass round, but a good clamp tackle from Dewsbury Holding. Farber now taking up the running, inside ball, George Mann, watch this man go! Real popular figurehead here at Knowsley Road, and you can't blame him, can you, with running like that, block-busting running forward. Something we've been lacking for quite a while. Cosgrove, yes, let's keep it going. The ball loose. Tony Kay has it. Well, the offside, is he ruling, Jerry Kershaw? Well, I don't agree with that decision, because Saints was turned back towards their own post and passed it back. But it's early days yet, so there'll not be much cheering and jeering about it. If it was a bit crucial and near to the end of the game and the scores was close, certainly we'd hear a bit of indifference about that. But Dewsbury's first penalty there, fine touch. Right on the halfway line, just 10 yards in from touch. Solid tackling there, that's the name of the game. Willie Johnson, dummy half, brings it inside now to second row Glenn Coughlin. Johnson again. Turns it inside, stand off Chris Wilkinson. Onto this big prop there, John Carroll. Whether it's the Carroll that used to play for Bradford, I don't know. But he loses possession, Saints back on the charge, Neil Holding takes it well. Quick ball from Haggerty onto Mark Bailey. Haggerty again, very cold here at Knowsley Road. You can see from the breath there, and obviously the steam off the players once they get warmed up. Paul Farber. But Tony Kay here at the right centre. He's been signed on a 3.5 year contract by St Helens after being on an extended loan period. Well, play allowed to go on there. David Tanner comes in field, he does well, David Tanner. Keeps his feet and could drive inside. Sixth and final tackle from referee Kershaw, signified by his upraised hand. Neil Holding. Diagonal kick, Alan Hunt following it through. But Dewsbury take it. The right winger there, Nathan Graham, comes up with it. Good ploy from the Saints. Diagonal kick from Holding, with Alan Hunt in mind on the far side. Alan Hunt, Saints leading try scorer with 12 touchdowns after that 3 try spectacular. Unfortunately, we was a bit blocked out with 2 of them in this left-hand corner, but we'll have no problem today. No television or whatever, and you'll get the full uninterrupted match. Dewsbury in possession, just outside their own 25. Johnson attacked in halfback, bringing it to his left. Back to standoff for Wilkinson for the kick upfield. Beavers back in his natural full-back position. To David Tanner. Left winger, Dennis Bailey. George Mann threading his way through. Drafted up by the Kiwi squad with the injury to a couple of forwards. Farber feeds it inside, which tidied up by Haggerty. Farber now, taking up the running. But the Dewsbury tackling, it's holding quite firm at present. Still 2 points to nil to the Saints. Neil Holding now, diagonal kick, it's not going to find touch, but full back Lee Hughes It's his first game for Dewsbury. Don't know whether he's come through the amateur ranks or whether he's just been signing up, but it is his first senior game for Dewsbury this afternoon. Dennis Bailey now. Not making much headway. Andy Bateman and Paul Farber bring him to a halt. Johnson now scampering through, typical scrum half. But Farber in again. He's been playing with a nasty trap nerve as Paul Farber. Saints have been a little short of bodies. He did say the other night that if we had an abundance of forwards, maybe he would have been rested. They just can't get to the bottom of this trap nerve. But he's a good lad, Farber, gives his all. Shirley just waiting for the international door to open for him. Neil Holding feeds the scrum. Well, he must be offside. Prop forward there, John Carroll coming through and dropping on the ball before the ball had come out of the scrum. So Dewsbury penalised. Paul Loughlin finds touch just inside the Dewsbury 25. Groves, Bateman coming up. Blockbusting run from Bateman back into full fitness. We did think he would play against Hull KR last week, but he must have been ruled out on medical advice. George Mann now. Well, a forward pass, I think he's signified. Referee Garnier couldn't have seen that was a forward pass. Stood deep in Dewsbury territory, a man coming through like a rocket. Watch a scrum down, and Dewsbury come up with the ball. Willie Johnson hit the ball from the base of the scrum and quickly round. But George Mann there completes the tackle. Johnson again, on to Carroll. Most of the game so far in the Dewsbury 25. The ball back now for the kick-up field. Beavers well positioned. Just as a little juggle with it, but no problem. Good sidestep. Out of one tackle. And second row there, Coughlin comes in to tie Beavers up. Tony Kay had an excellent game last week at here at Knowsley Road against Hull KR. Some penetrating runs which initiated tries, some searing runs up the main stand side, and then the ball was spread over here to the popular side, and I think on two occasions Alan Hunt finished off. But it's Farber on the far side. Unfortunately, right at the end of last week's game, Farber received 10 minutes in the sin bin for nothing. Haggerty there, stepping through, looking for some... Oh, brilliant Haggerty! Stepped out to one tackle, went to pass, they released him. Well, Groves quick to the task there, but Holding chips through. The full-back takes it. Is the man rolled into touch? No, just manages to keep in field. Maybe lucky, otherwise Saints could have possibly been penalised for forcing the man into touch when he was tackled. But everything's hunky-dory, as they say. Dewsbury in possession. Johnson turns it inside. Gary Cox. Well, Johnson taken on suspicion there by Paul Farber. Carroll again, spreading it to the right. For the second row, Paul Jennings. Solid tackle there. Roy Haggerty dumps him to the ground. Back to the standoff. Chris Wilkinson for the kick-up field. But they're not having much joy, are they? Beaver shows the ball. Drives through, beats the first line of defence. But a two-man Dewsbury tackle brings him to a halt. Alan Hunt looking for a bit of action. Score of 3 tries last Saturday, I beg your pardon. It was televised, wasn't it? David Cosgrove. Well, another lady physio there on the far side, treating the Dewsbury player. It's the modern trend now, isn't it? Mark Bailey takes it in field. Neil Holding across the line. George Mann Looking for the gap, takes the player on, releases the ball to Farber. Then on to Vivers in support. Back now to Paul Farber, I think it is. Sixth and final tackle now for the Saints. Neil Holding along the line. Mark Bailey. Quick hands. Loughlin. Short ball to Kay. He's got to keep it going, the Saints. Kay still driving forward. Good clamp tackle. And the changeover is ruled. Referee Kershaw right on the job. He knew what he had to do, Tony Kay, but he just couldn't release it. Good clamp tackle from Dewsbury that time. And they're back in possession. No doubt Saints will contain him in the 25. They had a good win last week at home, 14-4 against Carlisle. Carlisle coached by Harry Pinner, player coach, ex-Saints and Great Britain forward. Wigan already through to the third round by virtue of beating Widnes yesterday. Widnes, they just couldn't do anything right. And the Pie Eaters go marching on. Alan Hunt. Mark Bailey now. George Mann. Taken down just short of the halfway line. Loose forward Tim Butler. But it's Andy Bateman. Sees the gap. Side through it. Came from Hunslet, this lad Bateman. £60,000 move. Roy Haggerty. Good ball to Loughlin. But equally good tackling. But Loughlin releases it onto Bailey. Then back to Cosgrove. He takes it to Beavers. Making the extra man. Going over to the Hunt wing. Farber. Diagonal run Farber. Good lad. Goes in hard. Sixth and final tackle now. Haggerty grubbers for touch. Finds touch in the Dewsbury 25. But they're sticking to the task of Dewsbury. They're tackling well and Saints are unable to penetrate the cover defence at present. It's 14 minutes gone, it's still just 2 points to nil in the Saints' favour. That second minute penalty goal from Paul Loughlin. But Dewsbury come up with the ball. Wilkinson, the standoff. Lee Hughes up in the line there, but he couldn't release it to Wilkinson. Loose forward, Tim Butler. Johnson, from acting half-back, trying to scamper through, but he doesn't cod Phil Vivers there. Not a bad crowd assembled now. It was just about quarter of an hour before the kick-off. Very few people on the ground. Quite a few Dewsbury spectators here to get behind the team. But it's hooker there, Gary Cox. Usually a prop forward, but drafted in at the hooker position today. And the ball to John Carroll. Beavers can't take it, but the ball goes back. And look at that from a standing start. Beavers shows his pace. Turns it inside, keeps it going. Mark Bailey now on the charge. Has the ball shaken from his hands in that tackle. It was a solid tackle there from standoff Wilkinson. Puts Dewsbury back in possession. Spreads it along the line. Johnson. Second row forward there, Jennings. Just short of the centre spot. I think it's just a matter of time. One State's get in the swing and get a try on the board. But it's left centre there, Gary Moore. But he feeds the ball inside to Coughlin. Brought down with David Tanner, George Mann. Saints pressing up very quickly. Carroll along the line there, Jennings. Sixth and final tackle. Referee Kershaw there, urging the Saints to line out. Johnson to Wilkinson. For the kick upfield, is it going to run dead? Yes, it runs dead. Alan Hunt gathers it up. Saints are going to start with a 25-yard tap from the centre of the 25-yard line, obviously. Feeds it on to George Mann. Groves again. Bateman. 2 forward charges. He looks sharp, this Bateman, doesn't he? Both George Mann and Bateman block busting through. Now to David Cosgrove. Well, they certainly are sticking to the task, Dewsbury. They're containing the Saints at present. Neil Holding, chip and run. Is it a bit too deep? On to Hughes, Lee Hughes. Beats 2 tackles, drives through, loses possession, but it's taken up by Glenn Coughlin. Dewsbury keeping it going, Saints stretched a little. Left winger, Dennis Bailey. Got a super tackle from Tanner. And Dewsbury move upfield with a 50-yard move. Saints are penalised for holding down in the tackle. And a chance for Dewsbury to get points on the board. He's going to have a go for goal. He must be confident. It's only about 5 yards in from the touchline. Tom Wilkinson, he's the goal kicker. He signified straight away that he was going to have a go for goal. But Saints caught on the hop there. Perhaps a little lax. Certainly not going to let any complacency creep into the game this afternoon. We know the second division opposition. No great shakes, Dewsbury, but you've got to respect them. It's cup competition, and anything can happen in a cup competition. We played them once, obviously it's a new trophy, the Regal trophy, but in the players' competition we played them once in the first round in the 85-86 season here at Knowsley Road in the first round, beating them out of sight by 42 points to 6. As Wilkinson is unsuccessful, brings it to the left with that penalty conversion attempt, and that was the last time that Dewsbury was in the first division in the 85-86 season. Paul Loughlin drops out from the 25. Dewsbury back on the charge. George Mann in at the tackle. Coughlin brings him down, but he gets it to Hughes, the full-back. Johnson attacks in half-back, bringing it blind. On to Cox, the hooker. Slips it out to Johnson again. Tony Kay has him. Well, they're looking a bit lively now, Dewsbury. Wilkinson on to Carroll. Sees the gap, tries to scamper through. But good shoulder tackle there. Paul Barber puts him to grass. Well, forward past that. Charge. Saints going to the man charge. The ball comes out of his hands. It went forward to the Dewsbury player. And whether he's taking a knock or not, no, Saints have come up with the ball. Alan Hunt trying to thread his way through. But I don't know whether it was last week that happened with the referee Morris on the far side when Groves came up with the ball. And he judged it had been an infringement, but no trouble with referee Kershaw there. Saints back on the charge now and looking to extend the lead. Roy Haggerty couldn't gather it. A low ball, a rather loose ball, and Saints looking a bit out of sorts at present. Halfway through this first half, and just 2 points from Paul Loughlin's trusty boot to show for it. Saints win the feed. One against the head there. Mark Bailey. Andy Bateman still going forward. Penetrates the Dewsbury 25. The ball should be spread along the line now. Groves, Bailey, Haggerty. Into space, Cosgrove just couldn't release it. Good clamp tackle from that left centre there, Gary Moore. He'll hold him, brings it blindside. Well, he doesn't, he turns it back inside. Haggerty quickly down. And is it Dewsbury penalised? No, it's Saints penalised for allegedly obstructing a Dewsbury player in his efforts to get the ball. So Wilkinson takes the penalty kick to touch and finds touch 10 yards outside his own 25. So Dewsbury now Not frightened of throwing the ball about, and this lively little scrum half Johnson, he's always there and about. Well, George Mann completes the tackle. Well, Saints still with lots of injury problems, with Gary Connolly out. Well, Jonathan Griffiths is on the bench today, having coming through the 18 match. But it's Dewsbury on the charge. Neil Holding completing the tackle, just short of the Saints 25. One of a rare excursion into the Saints half so far in this game. Carroll. The inside ball onto second row Coghlan. Saints will have to make sure the tackling counts. Sixth and final one now. You can bet there's going to be an up and under here. There it is to Wilkinson. There's the bomb. Beavers does well. Puts it back to David Tanner. Well, is he in? No. Didn't know whether he just got down in the field of play, but solid tackling there from Dewsbury. 3 men coming up. Beavers knocked it back to David Tanner. Tanner was taken in the in-goal area. Dewsbury putting pressure on the Saints, and Paul Loughlin forced to drop out from between the sticks. Johnson it is again, takes the ball. Right winger there, Nathan Graham. And Johnson again lines up, attacks in half-back, trying to get Dewsbury underway. Gary Cox. Johnson onto, I think it's the prop there, Mark Burgess. But they are making headway, Dewsbury, moving up into the Saints 25 now. Carroll sees the gap, straightens up. Mann completes the tackle, but Dewsbury spreading it. Cox again, feeds it inside to Johnson. Good clamp tackle. Haggerty, I think it was there. No, Paul Farber it was. But a super tackle there on Johnson. It looks as though he's going to scamper through. Carroll looking to release, he does so, to loose forward. Tim Butler, but still spreading it onto Bailey. Good tackle from David Tanner there. But the ball coming out to Dennis Bailey, this coloured winger. He's a rangy lad. Looks as though he's going in, but a super tackle from David Tanner. And the crowd here getting a little agitated at the lack of pace from the Saints. We shouldn't be struggling against opposition like this, should we? Saints come up with the ball. Neil Holding feeds it on to David Tanner. Along the line now, David Cosgrove. Down with the shoulder, into the tackle. Beats one man off, but brought down by Paul Jennings. Turning the ball back inside, and didn't do anything there. Holding and Bailey onto Haggerty on the blind side here. Short ball to Tony Kay. Kay into space. A first chance for Saints now with an overlap. Kay inside to David Tanner. A good run from the Saints. A 50-60 yard movement upfield. Kay inside to Bailey. Haggerty. Short ball to Bateman coming through at pace. 10 yards from the Dewsbury try line now. Dewsbury urged to get back on side. Something's got to break the deadlock surely. Holding, Bailey, Farber along the line, back inside. Well, loose ball, but tidied up again by Cosgrove. He lofts the up and under. It's taken by Hughes, and that's going to be a 25 yard tap restart for Dewsbury. Certainly looking a little lax in ideas. Now Saints this afternoon. Johnson to restart. Brought forward Burgess there, and Johnson again feeds it inside. Haggerty round the top after Bateman round the legs. Dewsbury bring it blindside. Butler loose forward. Nearly up to the halfway line. Still 2 points to nil in the Saints' favour. Carroll. Fullback Lee Hughes coming into the line. The ball's loose. Must be a knock on unless the Saints come up with it. I think Saints have possession. Paul Loughlin. Well, penalised number 11, Paul Jennings, as referee Kershaw's back was turned. Jennings snatched the ball out of Paul Loughlin's hands, and the penalty is rightfully awarded to the Saints. Locking finds touch on the 25, Saints restart. Bailey, Farber, Bailey, Roy Haggerty. Feeds it inside to Lachlan, super ball. Touch to Dewsbury man, back to Kay, 6 tassels again it should be. Phil Beavers, second the running up. Inside ball to Neil Holding on the opposite diagonal. Well, the referee hasn't, no, he's not waved him off, I don't think. George Mann powering his way through. Lovely ball to Groves. Dewsbury player injured there, but Saints on the charge. Mann inside to Farber. Farber charging through, just 2 yards short. A try is essential now. Lofted ball, Beavers. Lachlan, back to Beavers. Dewsbury sticking to the task, tackling well, and an interception. Prop forward it is, but he flicks it out. Saints being stretched again. Well, that was a forward pass on the far side. On to Marquis Charles. But Saints, when they should have scored and been stretched there, and Dewsbury stretching of about 60 yards upfield. "12 minutes of the first half remaining. Well, Tony Kay intercepts it back. Harbour. And it's Saints now, back on the charge. Dewsbury there, 2-man overlap on the left. Tony Kay did well, stood in the way, and came up with the goods. Neil Holding. Well, a knock-on being ruled aside, but Dewsbury making a substitution with Mark Burgess coming off, must have taken a knock, and Dennis Trembath, he certainly looks a big lad, this substitute forward for Dewsbury, just slotting in at the pack. But Saints come up with the ball. Well, the pack was turned, the ball was come back, and referee Kershaw penalises Roy Haggerty for being offside. Wilkinson finds touch just inside the Saints 25. Trembath, first touch, and watch him drive for the line. I said he's a big lad. Seen him warming up on the touch line before. He's just come on, and Dewsbury, they deserve a try. They're playing well. They're driving up and they're causing Saints quite a lot of problems. They're causing Saints more problems than Saints are causing them, that's a certainty. George Mann completes the tackle. Dewsbury, 10 yards from the Saints line. Johnson feeds it inside there to Cox. Johnson looking for the reverse pass, but solid tackling brings Cox down. Saints urged to get onside by referee Kershaw. On to Carroll. Little chip kick through, but Beavers there, well positioned. Saints back on the charge. They're going to have to go the full length. It's Farber. Dewsbury tackling, holding firm. Maurice Bamford certainly got him psyched up for this afternoon's game. But it's George Mann, this strong running Kiwi forward. Holding. Roy Haggerty. What can he do? Explosive character Haggerty. Just unable to penetrate the Dewsbury ranks this afternoon. Groves. Mark Bailey. Sidestep off one. Can't just get past the second line of defence. Second row Jennings there brings him down. Groves taking up the running. Takes it left to Neil Holding. Beavers, well, looking for support, but Saints very lax, but Farber there. Feeds it back to Lachlan, back to Groves. Overlap for the Saints here on the left. Bailey comes through. Plays it well, Bailey. Yes, on to Tony Kay. Out to David Tanner. He has to come inside. Gives the dummy. Drives for the line. Only inches short there. Change overruled. Well, I didn't see the referee's hand up for the sixth tackle. But Saints doing well there, and it's Gary Moore, I think, going crossfield. No doubt Alex Murphy, Saints coach, will be going spur in the dugout there. They'll be expecting more points on the board than this, and certainly I would myself. Trembath. Dewsbury certainly not frightened of throwing it about. Hughes coming through in the line, making the extra man, but Tony Kay clamps him well. Johnson on to Wilkinson for the kick-up field. Beavers takes it well. Up centre field now. Brought down just short of the halfway line. Mark Bailey going over to the left, over to the main stand side. Andy Bateman, 10-15 yard run, turns in the tackle, looking for support. But nobody there. Big cheer from the crowd as Jonathan Griffiths comes out of the dugout. Well, obstruction there, yes, rightly so. Superb ball there from Cosgrove. He drove through, he put it out to his right as Loughlin was coming through, but he couldn't take it. He was obstructed by a Dewsbury man. Saints are awarded the penalty and Paul Loughlin's going to go for goal. Much to the jeers of the Saints faithful, but you never know, points could be crucial at the end of the afternoon's performance, the way we're going now. Well, Dewsbury, as I said, they're not much lately, languishing in the second division, but 1973 they was the league champions. They beat Leeds in the championship final as it was then, and then they was beaten Floodlit finalists in that famous BBC Two Floodlit Cup by the Saints here at Knowsley Road by 22 points to 9. Well, Loughlin there, unsuccessful, right in front of the sticks. They shouldn't miss him. Let's hope it's not going to be one of those afternoons. The ball goes to the left. Still 2 points to 0 in Saints' favour. And just 6 minutes of time remaining in this first half. Saints had just been presented before the start of the game with the Bass Team of the Month for November. But Saints have been unbeaten since before October. Since the tour match against New Zealand on the 1st of October. And Saints have come through. I think it's 9 matches on the trot now. We're looking for the 10th win today. But the way we're going, it's going to be extremely hard, isn't it? Johnson. Dewsbury spreading it to the left. Second row there, Paul Jennings. Johnson, scrum half for Dewsbury, attacking halfback. Wilkinson. On to Carroll. Dummies back inside, back to Wilkinson, I think it is. No, it's the loose forward, Tim Butler. Tremba, big lad. Well, nothing in that tackle at all. Man coming in. I mean, look at the size of this 15. He's driving through and man come to... he ducked down as he was diving in. And Tremba, he shrugged the tackle off, so there's nothing in it at all. But George Mann was penalised there, referee Kershaw. And a chance for Wilkinson to bring Dewsbury back onto level terms. There'll certainly be a few surprised listeners on the radio as they're listening to the local radio transmissions this afternoon. When they hear the score, it's only 2 points to 0 in Saints' favour. Wilkinson there looks better, but I think it's still to the left. Yes, waved away by the touch judges. So with still 4 minutes to play, just 2 points to 0 in the Saints' favour with that second minute Paul Loughlin penalty goal. But Dewsbury certainly putting a lot of pressure on the Saints. Hughes. Groves brings him to ground. Roy Haggerty lends an extra hand. And it's Johnson on to Tremba. But Farber comes... No, I beg it. Cosgrove. Cosgrove it is. Completes a good tackle. Johnson trying to scamper through. Brought down on the halfway line. Carroll. Farber. Well, it's going to be a knock-on unless Saints come up with the ball. Farber came in on Carroll. He saw Farber coming in. He got shut of it like a hot potato. It went to one of his teammates who knocked on. He wasn't expecting the ball. Saints couldn't capitalise on it. It's a scrum down just inside the Dewsbury half. Saints to feed. Neil Holding there. Gets the ball from the rear of the scrum. Tony Kay. Short ball to Loughlin. Yes, I must admit it was forward that. But the idea was right. But the final pass going forward to Paul Loughlin. Referee Kershaw right on the job. And it's a scrum feed to Dewsbury now. Johnston comes up with it. Well, nothing to rave about this first half. It's certainly a half we'll want to forget. But let's hope Saints can come out in the second half and produce the goods. Dewsbury bringing it blindside. Tony Kay. As I said before, he signed on a 3-year contract. He was with the Barra Club. He's on an extended loan period. He's now, well, he had become a free agent and was signed on either a 3 or a 3.5-year contract by the Saints. He certainly looks a useful character, been unlucky with injury, but he had a superb game last week here against Hull Kingston Rovers. The ball back to Wilkinson, kick up field. David Tanner. Now let's see what Saints can do. Tanner going cross field, but solid tackle there. Loose forward, Butler coming in. Cosgrove on the opposite diagonal. Builds up ahead of steam. Good forward this Cosgrove, certainly improving. Roy Agate off 1 foot, down the blind side. Agate will take him on, he turns inside, but there's no support there. No backing up from the Saints. Somebody's got to inject some pace or something into this Saints team. George Mann flicks it back, one-handed. Saints now, got to spread it to the left. Andy Bateman bursting through. Brought down short of the 25. Can Saints get a try before half-time? Groves. Short ball to Farber, running in. Yes, flicks it up there on the far side to Loughlin. Forward pass again. Just that that last pass that's going to miss. Widnes couldn't put it together yesterday against Wigan, and certainly Saints are not putting it together this afternoon against the lowly Dewsbury. 44 or 46 point start they've got on the fixed odd coupon of Dewsbury. And there's the half-time hooter, and plenty of boos and jeers. Well, the game not finished yet. The penalty has been awarded. Referee Kershaw awarded the penalty before the hooter had sounded. So he's got to take it to touch, he's got to kick it to touch. And then Dewsbury have got to play the ball. Saints have just got to get in, tackle them, and that's the end of the first half. So Dewsbury restart play. Just going to in for the tackle, bring the man down. That's going to bring the first half to an end. And Alex Murphy will be getting in there, and certainly there'll be quite a few words of wisdom. Just one score in the first half, a second minute Paul Loughlin penalty goal. Just while I've got a minute and the teams are going off, if I can ask you if you want your top try tapes, last season's try tape by the Saints and the New Zealand match, get your orders in quickly. It's approaching Christmas, and there has been quite a bit of demand, and if you don't get your orders in, you're going to be disappointed. We'll see you shortly for the second half. Back with you now for the second half of this Regal Trophy second round tie. Saints leading by 2 points to 0. Dewsbury to kick off now. Let's do now, hopefully, in this 40 minutes, what we should have been doing in the first 40 minutes. The Saints looking very lax, Dewsbury sticking to the task. They've done well, they've tackled well. Saints with no penetrators, with the absence of Prodsham and Shane Cooper. But even so, we shouldn't be struggling against opposition like this. Well, Loughlin there, straight away, breaking through. Bailey's with him. Loughlin out to Hunt. Hunt's going to be into the corner. Well, that's it. This is what we should have been doing in the first half, isn't it? But tip back right from the start there. No doubt Alex Murphy will have had them all in there, and he'll have certainly give them a good roasting. And Alan Hunt there, Saints leading try scorer, goes in for his 13th of the season in this corner. And we can actually see it scored this week. We're not obstructed by the BBC cameras. Hunt goes in there after a superb break from Loughlin. Lovely ball fed to Loughlin. He heard upfield. 40, 50 yards. Slipped it out to Alan Hunt in support. On his left, and Hunt touchdown. Just a minute of play. Well, we're back in the hunt now, surely. And I hope the floodgates will open now. Loughlin goes for the conversion, but it just keeps to the left. 6 points to 0 the score, and Dewsbury to kick off again. Both Saints substitutes warming up there on the touchline. Well, Alex Murphy will not want him to catch cold. Both Les Quirk and Jonathan Griffiths. Wilkinson to kick off. Certainly looks as though the mist is coming down a little here at Rosie Road. I just hope it does keep off. I'm not renowned for picking the players out at the best of times, am I? But I suppose with a bit of mist, I'm going to be struggling. George Mann there. Well, what a forward, this George Mann, making his way up there. Mark Bailey takes up the running. Paul Groves was for pass inside, but Groves has got the ball. It went back. Well, there's no way that ball went forward, Mr. Kershaw. But he's awarded a knock-on. As they say, usually with these referees, they start questioning the parentage and their eyesight, and there's a classic example, isn't it? Dewsbury feed the scrum, come up with possession. Wilkinson takes it over to the left. It's fed back inside to Wilkinson. On to Carroll. Well, they're throwing it about Dewsbury. Saints are not clamping him round the top. Wilkinson there brought down right on the halfway line by Paul Farber. Cox the hooker. Farber grips him after David Cosgrove had completed the tackle. Along the line, Dewsbury spreading it. Carroll inside ball to Butler, the loose forward. Onto this big forward, Trembath. Dewsbury on the charge, looking to spread it left. They certainly looked dangerous on the left wing in the first half. Johnson. Wilkinson along the line. Carroll sees a gap. Extra man onto second row there. Jennings. Inside ball there to Bailey. Yes, and Dewsbury are in. A well-worked move from Dewsbury. They hit back, and they're going to level the scores up with this, aren't they? They're surely not going to miss this goal. The Dewsbury spectators go wild with delight, and quite a few of them here at Knowsley Road. But it's Dennis Bailey coming up there on a roving commission, and he finishes off under the sticks. Well, he's given Marquis Charles a score in it, but it's number 5 there, and we've got as Dennis Bailey as number 5. So, unless there's been late changes in the Dewsbury ranks, anything can happen. Wilkinson converts it, and Dewsbury back on level terms. Just as things were looking good for the Saints, with hitting back with an early try, and Dewsbury there splitting the Saints open, which they may have done in the first half, if only for Saints containing them. Certainly look hungry for work, Dewsbury. They're back on level terms. Maurice Bamford, he'll have them fired up. Dewsbury lose possession, it's a scrum down. Going to be a Saints feed. In the Dewsbury 25, Neil Holding to feed. Well, he must be offside, mustn't he? Loose forward. Yes, rightly so. Tim Butler. So Saints there. Vivers is the captain. He's told Paul Loughlin, kick it for touch. Let's put some pressure on this Dewsbury outfit. Groves to restart. Groves into Farber. Just can't get this through this defence. Bateman at dummy half. Bonta Bailey. Looking for the gap. He straightens up Bailey. Feeds it back to George Mann. It's charged down. It's going to be a knock on. Put some obstruction in the line there. George Mann being penalised for obstructing one of the Dewsbury men. But he knocked it down. He couldn't have allowed play to go on, but he has penalised the Saints. Wilkinson with a kick to touch. Is he going to make it? Just finds touch inside the Saints half. And it's getting very misty down there on the pitch. Johnson to restart. Seven and a half minutes gone. The score's all tied at 6 points each. Trembath flicks it out to Johnson. George Mann clamps him, bangs him to the ground, 10 yards short of the Saints' 25-yard line. Carroll, short ball again. Here we go again. On to number 4, but Loughlin has him. The ball's loose. Saints are going to come up with it, are they? Well, Saints penalised for obstruction again. Holding back the Dewsbury player, but it was number 4 there, Gary Moore coming through. And a chance for Wilkinson to go for goal, and no doubt he'll be taking it. Saints split open again there. Second row man Jennings coming on to a lovely short ball. They had the left centre, Gary Moore with him. But as he was brought down by Paul Loughlin, there was an alleged obstruction. Saints were penalised. And it's a chance now for Dewsbury to go into what must be an unexpected lead. Well, it should have been an unexpected lead, but the way they've been playing this afternoon, it's not unexpected. Wilkinson now. Just inside the 25. 15 yards to the right of the sticks. Looks as though it's a good one, that, yes, right between the sticks. And Dewsbury take the lead for the first time in this match. And we're at just over 8 minutes through the second half. Well, Jennings again. Saints penalised for an alleged high tackle, I think it is. But with Saints trailing, let's hope it'll spur them into action. Jonathan Griffiths just emerging out of the dugout there. He's going to be getting ready to come on. Obviously, well, should I say, hopefully, to put a little bit of inspiration into the depleted Saints ranks this afternoon. Don't look anything like the team they were last week against Hull KR, especially after giving Hull KR a 12-0 lead. Carroll straightens up, gives the dummy, straightens up, but Saints clamp him. Johnson at dummy half. Wilkinson going for a drop goal. Nowhere near, but the ball's going to run dead. Phil Vivers coming back very quickly. Punts the ball up to the 25. Paul Groves gets us underway. Alan Hunt coming in field. Steps out to one Hunt. As long as he keeps hold of this ball, that's all we can ask. Andy Bateman stepping out of one tattle up to the halfway line. Along the line now the Saints. Bailey, George Mann, straightens up man. Searing pace there. Well, poleaxed there by Trembath. Poleaxed him as he went to get up. He's duly penalised. He has been in pretty quick this afternoon, referee Kershaw. Not many errors, which makes a change. But Saints now. George Mann taking up the running. Just awarded the penalty there, Saints. He found touch just on the Dewsbury 25. Roy Haggerty. It's a good job we're not playing a good team this afternoon, isn't it? We would be in trouble. Cosgrove. Groves inside ball to Farber. Groves again. But a forward pass being ruled. It didn't actually go to Paul Loughlin, that ball. But ruled a forward. Saints are making a substitution, hopefully. It's Mark Bailey coming off and Jonathan Griffiths going on. A big cheer from the Saints faithful. And Jonathan Griffiths, who has joined me in the commentary position at Post Office Road, Featherstone the other week. I was asking him how long he was going to be. He wasn't quite sure, but he had a run out in the A-team Friday night. Came through it well, and he's on the substitutes bench today with the lack of forward bodies. But it's Dewsbury on the charge again. Vivers completes the tattle, but Tony Kay already had him. But it's Bailey, I think it is, the try scorer. But Dewsbury moving upfield very well there, 30-40 yards. Into passing. Loose forward, Butler. Sixth and final tattle signified there. Johnson, Groves moves up very quickly, closing the Dewsbury player down. Alan Hunt stops it well with his legs. Finally gathers it. Has to take the tattle. 15 yards from their own line, and Saints certainly looking a little lax. Phil Vivers, Saints captain. No playmakers, unfortunately, with the injury to Tommy Frodsham and Shane Cooper, who has that ban. But certainly lacking in idea. Solid tattle on George Mann there. He must have felt the full weight of that tattle by Carroll. Groves. Jonathan Griffith steps past one, flicks a lovely ball to Loughlin, onto Alan Hunt. He comes in field as Hunt. Two-man Dewsbury tattle on the sixth tattle now. Jonathan Griffiths along the line, Neil Holding, that's a kick, Willie. Inside to Griffiths, but he knocks on. Well, we shouldn't have been in that position. In my opinion, the ball should have been diagonally kicked into touch on the far side. It was the sixth tattle, it would have been the changeover, which has just been executed. Nearly quarter of an hour gone of the second half. The score's 6 points to Saints, 8 points to Dewsbury. And they're looking well worth the lead, aren't they, Dewsbury? They stuck to the task, they've took the chances when they've had them. Penetrated the Saints ranks on numerous occasions. Well, lovely flick ball there. Right winger Graham. Well, he's going to be in here for a try. Loughlin's not going to get him. Well, Graham there. Waltz past the Saints defence there. Brilliant try. All his teammates come to greet him. A brilliant try from this right winger for Dewsbury, Graham. That's knocked the Saints back. And now we're going to see a shock result here. It's going to take some coming back. "12 points to 6, Dewsbury in the lead. A difficult conversion attempt for Wilkinson, just about 5 yards in. from this popular side touchline. What a super try there from Dewsbury, hitting Saints there where it hurts. They came through, they took the chances well, as I was just saying. Walls past the flimsy Saints defence, and Graham went in at the corner. Certainly bamboozled the Saints defence there. Wilkinson now. Already kicked 2 this afternoon. Certainly be a good one if he can make it count. Is he going to fall short? Yes, fall short. So 12 points to 6 to score in Dewsbury's favour. The Saints speckies get behind him, the Saints faithful. But what a dismal and poor performance the Saints have shown this afternoon. Certainly lack of character. Well, good kick there from the kick-off. The ball going the statutory 10 yards. And into touch on the popular side in between 2 Dewsbury players. Certainly a 50-50 chance of getting the ball. It's Johnson to feed. Well, Jonathan Griffiths has it. Saints have got to make it count now and hit back. Well, a terrible ball there, but Beavers tidies up. Does a pirouette, comes back over to the left. Back to Paul Farber. Looking for support. Bateman taking up the running. Oh, feeds it inside, but Groves has kicked it back. Beavers tidies it up. Saints in disarray, but an overlap on the right, surely. George Mann. Well, David Tanner tidies it up. He's allowed to go. He's still going, Tanner. Referee Kershaw lets it go, but terrible ball handling skills from the Saints. Or should I say, lack of ball handling skills. Haggerty. He's always looking to release it. No support there with him. Groves. George Mann takes it well. Back to Griffith. He bounced to Loughlin. On to Hunt. Can he score here? Inside to Griffith. Just brought down short. Double movement given. Saints penalised. But Griffiths, is he hurt? No, it's the right winger. Just the try scorer there, Nathan Graham, who's injured. Griffiths there backing up well with Hunt and Loughlin. But he's adjudged to have gone over for a double movement. Obviously the tackle must have been completed. And Saints are penalised. A bit of frustration there setting in. To full fitness, the magic sponge from the Dewsbury Lady physio. Wilkinson finds touch. Dewsbury back on the charge. Saints putting the pressure on there, but they couldn't make it count. Dewsbury in the lead by 12 points to 6. And what a shock result it is at present. 19 minutes of the second half gone. And it's an uphill battle. Carroll. Just short of the Saints, just short of the Dewsbury 25. Wilkinson kicks downfield, wants to peg the Saints back. Beavers takes it well, brings it over to the left. He's out there on a limb, there's only Alan Hunt with him. Saints come up now, regroup. George Mann. We were certainly looking forward to a big score here today with the George Mann and Andy Bateman back in the front row. But Saints have not put it into action. Trailing by 12 points to 6. Neil Holding. Tried to grub her through it, hit the Dewsbury man, it went into touch on the far side. It's going to be a scrum down just about 5 yards outside the Dewsbury 25. It's going to be a Saints speed with it going in off the Dewsbury man. We'll all be alright when we wake up, won't we? We must think it's a dream. Trailing by 12 points to 6. The ball goes in. Dewsbury take one against the head there. Well, a knock on. Left centre. Gary Moore. Saints feed, Jonathan Griffiths comes up with the ball from the base of the scrum, diagonal run, lays it on to Loughlin. But solid tackling, they certainly stuck to the tackling this afternoon. Roy Haggerty trying to weave his way through, flicks it back to Beavers, on to Groves. Ball to Loughlin now, forward pass being given. Some of the Saints' final passes going amiss. Just not getting it together this afternoon at all. Johnson to feed. Never saw the scrum, that did it. But Johnson waltzes past Griffiths. But Beavers comes in, upends him, bounces him down. Hooker, Cox, I think it is, driving up to the halfway line. Johnson attacked in half-back. Trembath. Well, a splendid, excellent hit on Trembath by Mann. He's a big lad, this Trembath. That's the only way to go in with the shoulder and bounce him down. Loose play, but Wilkinson has it on to Butler, the loose forward. Looking lively, Dewsbury. Onto the blind side, it's Cox again, but Loughlin round the top, Griffiths round the ankles, brings him to a halt. Sixth and final tackle now. Wilkinson kicks it downfield. Beavers takes up the running. Looking for support, nobody with him again. Certainly in a lot of disarray, the Saints. George Mann, David Tanner. Andy Bateman, forced into touch. That's the enthusiasm of the Dewsbury tackling on the far side. Bateman coming through, 2-3 man Dewsbury tackle, forced him into touch on the far side. Just 17 minutes remaining for Saints to hopefully take this game by the scruff of the neck. And Dewsbury cleaning up on the scrums in the second half. 5-2, I make it. Carroll now, diagonal run. They've certainly not run out of steam yet of Dewsbury. Good value for their lead. Here we go again. Graham. Tony Kay comes in, clamps him. Trembath attacked in half-back. From Mack in half-back, down the blind side, but Loughlin comes in, lifts him bodily, bangs him down. Sixth and final tackle, but it's Dewsbury just outside the Saints 25. Up and under now, he's going for a drop goal. Jonathan Griffiths gathers it on the full. Brought down just outside his own 25. Andy Bateman. Lofted pass, Loughlin, George Mann loses possession, Johnson tidies it up. Holding comes in very quickly, got to close them down now, can't afford any more points. Trailing by 6 points, 12 points to 6, Dewsbury in the lead. Second row forward, Coughlin drives up centre field, penetrates the Saints 25 now. Butler, 10 yards from the Saints line, Dewsbury on the charge. No doubt they'll be having a go for drop goal here if they survive the 6 tackles. That's if they don't manage to get a score. Cox driving for the line, looking for support. If he'd have had support with him there, he'd have scored. But Johnson, the scrum half for Dewsbury, down injured. It's the 6th and final tackle. Saints will have to stem the tide. Well, what's the referee going to wave? Graham is in possession. Dewsbury keep the ball moving. Chips it through. Loughlin takes it. Alan Hunt. Well, forced into touch. But the ball thrown back in field before Hunt had been bundled into touch. He did well there, did Alan Hunt. Roy Haggerty now. The popular side erupts, get behind the seats, even though they are trailing by 6 points. Forward. There'll have to be a hell of a lot of urgency as Groves tries to scamper through. Neil Holding, Bateman on the charge, breaks through Bateman up to the halfway line. Last one of this sequence of 6. Along the line, George Mann, Jonathan Griffiths into space, lovely ball to, lovely ball to Loughlin. I was just going to say, but he couldn't take it. It goes to ground. Dewsbury come up with possession. Graham, the winger, Roy Haggerty, bounces him down. Johnson attacked in half-back, takes it in field. 14 minutes remaining, Saints trailing by 12 points to 6. Inside ball to Coughlin. Griffiths brings off the tackle, it's on to Johnson. Well, solid tackle from Beavers, that was a try saver, wasn't it? If he'd have missed him there, it'd have been Taters. Alan Hunt did well. Picks it up just inches from the touchline, brings it back in field. Farber now, bringing it up the blind side. It's been all Dewsbury. Saints hitting back in the first minute of this second half. A superb try by Hunt, but then Dewsbury hitting back. And it's been all Dewsbury since. Neil Holding. Jonathan Griffiths, on to Tony Kay, up the right wing, Tony Kay, scamping, must be a try. On to Tanner, yes, he's got to come behind the sticks. Yes, that's it. That'll bring us back on level terms. And David Tanner finishes off in good style. A full 60, 75 yard movement there. Tony Kay showing his blistering pace, as he did last Saturday. Up that right wing. David Tanner backing him up, he came inside and Kay fed it beautifully. Tanner came in behind the sticks. And that'll give us a bit of heart, won't it? And we certainly need it. 28 minutes of the second half gone and Saints back in now at 10 points to 12 in arrears. Loughlin pops it over, 12 points apiece, but it's not over yet. Still 12 minutes of play remaining, and Saints have got to get more points on the board, haven't they? We don't want to go to Crown Flat for a replay, that's a dead cert. Certainly looking lax in ideas, but a little bit of brain stir. And Tony Kay now, the instigator of that try, brings the ball up to the 25. Cosgrove. Groves, Haggerty, Saints in numbers now. Haggerty breaks through, lovely ball to Bateman. Loughlin's with it, lovely ball to Loughlin. Out to Hunt. Oh, just couldn't take it there, but I'm sure he didn't knock it on it. I don't think it actually touched his hand. He had to stretch back for it to pick it up. But Bateman there to Loughlin, and then if it's Hunt just couldn't take it. A knock on being ruled. Dewsbury feed, and Dewsbury come up with the goods. Well, you get near the opposition's line, you can bet there's going to be, well, Coughlin stretching through, still driving through Coughlin, this second row for Dewsbury. All the Saints laid off him and he just carried on running. Saints have got to make the tackling count, and that's what they haven't really done this afternoon. The tackling has left a lot to be desired, whereas Dewsbury's tackling, it's been virtually superb. Cox. Well, a forward pass given by referee Kershaw. A scrum down with a Saints feed, 10 yards outside the Saints 25. 10 minutes of play remaining. Jonathan Griffiths to feed. Brings it blindside. Looking for Alan Hunt. Showed the ball but couldn't release it. Georgie Mann. Lovely ball. Well, I'm going there again. Lovely ball to Loughlin. Not about counting your chickens. It certainly looked as though it was just going to go to Loughlin. He was going to take it and power his way through. They couldn't take it. Just not being able to put it together this afternoon, are the Saints. Johnson to feed. Referee Kershaw not happy at the scrum. He wants it fed again. Johnson comes up with it. On to Wilkinson. Hughes, the full-back in the line. Solid tackle there from Beavers, his counterpart. Wilkinson on to Trembath. Got to get this man's legs. It's no good round the top. Hell of a size, this fella, and big long legs, but he can't go without them. Cox. As I was just saying, if you get near the opposition's post, you can bet the drop goals will be coming into the ploy this afternoon. Coughlin there. Brought down on the Saints 25. Johnson tried to scamper through his lost possession. Is it Groves that's come up with it? Yes. Always there and about is Groves. Neil Holding on the run from acting half-back. Getting roughed up a bit there by Butler. Roy Haggerty now. Unlucky. Just had his ankles tapped by Cox. Groves on to Holding. Bateman. Saints moving up to the halfway line. Still very misty out there on the pitch. Georgie Mann pushes one off. Inside to Loughlin this time. Stretch it through Loughlin. Comes back inside looking for support. No support with him. Sixth tackle now. Neil Holding. Saints going to run it. Jonathan Griffiths. Sides his way through. Releases the ball. Tanner has it, but it's going to be the changeover. Dewsbury now with the changeover just outside their own 25-yard line. The score's all tied, 12 points each. And I make it just 7 minutes of time remaining. Saints are going to be very lucky to scrape through this afternoon. It's Dewsbury breaking the Saints ranks yet again. No doubt when Alex gets his video of this match, he's going to be picking holes in the Saints' performance this afternoon. Not a lot of support play, and the passage just going down at the vital times. Haggerty there clamping his man as Dewsbury come up with a bit of loose play. Trembath from dummy half. Groves brings him down. Farber completes the tackle. Sixth and final one. Back to Wilkinson. Comes in field. Bounces kindly. Alan Hunt. Can he produce anything out of the hat? Hunt takes the tackle just outside the 25-yard line. Holding. Trying to scamper through, but Cox has him. Groves to Farber. Gives the dummy. But has to take the tackle. Groves again. Back to George Mann. Spreads it to the right. Jonathan Griffiths. Tony Kay. He's off again. He's Kay. Oh, just losing his footing. 5 minutes remaining. Saints need a score now. I suppose Dewsbury need a score as well, don't they? Loughlin now. What can he do? Alan Hunt comes in field. Hunt taking up the run in. Can he? Hunt still going. Oh, the ball going down the final pass. I think it was Groves there. He just couldn't take it. But this rangy, coloured left winger for Dewsbury in possession just outside his own 25. Cox now. Johnson attacked in half-back. The score's all tied, 12 points each. Less than 5 minutes of the game remaining. Who'd have thought we'd have been in such a predicament this afternoon? Sixth and final, title signified by referee Kershaw. The ball back to Wilkinson. Kick upfield. Alan Hunt takes it well. The Dewsbury cover comes in. Hunt's brought down in his own 25. Holding attacked in half-back. Saints, so unfortunately not supporting the man with the ball this afternoon. Well, not on many occasions anyway. Haggerty flicked it inside to man. On to Tony Kay. Well, he's off again, Kay. On to David Tanner. Up the right wing. Kick. Does Tanner kicks it through, but Hughes takes it well. Kay completes the tackle. Dewsbury back in possession. On to this Bailey, this big lad. Butler, the loose forward, back to Carroll. Saints clamp him. George Mann, one of the tacklers in there with David Cosgrove. Well, 2.5 minutes I make it now. Saints have got to contain Dewsbury there for the remainder of these tackles. Hopefully get the ball back, and they're going to have to score. It's going to be at the death, but it's Johnson there, worming his way through. There's the sixth and final tackle signified. Dewsbury, they've been trying to make a substitution for the past 2 or 3 minutes. Well, a long distance drop goal attempt. Alan Hunt takes it. They'll have to stick hold of this ball, Alan Hunt. Referee Kershaw shouts held. Saints on the blind side now. Haggerty changes direction, goes infield, drives through, on to Farber. Farber does a pirouette, releases it, back to George Mann. Builds up ahead of steam, Man on the charge, up to the halfway. Saints have got to score now. Time running out, Groves. Griffiths, inside to Loughlin, he takes it well. Loughlin threading his way through. Loughlin hands one off, still driving, into Hunt. Last chance for Saints, Hunt is still going. Inches from the line. Saints have got to make it count, this is the last chance. Griffiths drives through, inches short. Well, surely fouled at the play the ball there. But referee Kershaw, he's not having any. It's certainly looking as though we're going to Crown Flat, Dewsbury for a replay. Must be midweek. Trembath, forward pass given. And Dewsbury allowed to make a substitution now. Trembath is going to be brought off. And the man who he replaced, which was Mark Burgess, coming back on. The Saints have got to win this ball, and we've got to score before the final hooter goes. Griffiths, well, Griffiths doesn't win the feed. Johnson comes round and tidies up. A last chance for the Saints turn, it's gone a begging. 5 seconds I make it of normal time. Dewsbury in possession, and this is going to be a feather in Dewsbury's cap. There's no danger. A lacklustre performance from the Saints this afternoon, and the Dewsbury players and officials and spectators are going to go wild with delight at the chance of getting Saints onto the sloping pitch at Crown Flat. It's Dewsbury still in possession. Johnson, there's the final hooter. As I say, disappointment, boos from the Saints crowd, and delight from the Dewsbury spectators. 12 points all the score here, and Saints, it must be said, Saints are lucky to come up with a draw. A rather poor performance from Saints standards this afternoon. Only 2 points to nil at half-time. Then in the first minute of the second half, Saints sit back. A brilliant break up this popular side by Loughlin. Finished off by Alan Hunt, and Saints were in the lead there, 6 points to nil. Then in the 5th minute, a Dewsbury try converted by Wilkinson, back on level terms, 6 apiece. Then a penalty goal from Wilkinson in the 9th minute, and Dewsbury in the lead for the first time at 8 points to 6. Then they extended the lead in the 15th minute with a Graham try. It went unconverted, 12 points to 6 for Dewsbury, and then it was only 12 minutes before the full-time hooter, David Tanner finishing off in the park, behind the sticks, after a run up the main stand side here at Knowsley Road by Tony Kay. That was converted by Lachlan, so the final score here at Knowsley Road is 12 points each, and that'll mean a replay the Tuesday or Wednesday evening at Dewsbury Crown Flat to see who goes through to the 3rd round of this Regal Trophy. Anyway, thanks for joining us. You've been with BSN, Broadcast Sport News. My name's Ron Hoof. We've been with Ian Tushingham on camera, and we'll hopefully see you next week at some time and somewhere.